Well, there are few things as exhilarating or frustrating as dealing with schooling bass. When it goes right, man, it is awesome because it's catch, catch, catch. And when it doesn't go right, it is so frustrating. Well, one of the things that I have learned over the years, and because many people have taught me this, is we have to be able to be ready for this situation. So coming into this time of year, right, the summer to fall transition, you could be out there on the lakes and just get a big school of bass come up at any particular time. So the lures that I'm going to use are really specialized for this particular situation, mainly because we can get some distance with them. The first thing that I'm gonna have is some sort of walking bait. So this right here, like your standard 5-inch walking bait, this one is a Sexy Dog. That is a great choice for schooling bass because we can cast it a country mile. And I'm going to have braided line on there because I can get much more distance with my braided line. And also I'm going to prefer to have a rod that's a medium power rating, and the reason being is I can get more whip with it that way. So between that rod rating and the braided line and a nice walking lure that has some weight to it, you can really send this thing a country mile, and you can't be afraid to take a step back, rotate those hips, and really let it fly. And I will change up the size of the walking baits depending on the bait fish that are getting pushed up. Even this 4-inch size right here, you can throw a long ways, but I'm always going to start off with this one because I can get a little more distance with it. But if they just keep swatting at it, not take it, then I will probably try this one as well. Now the next lure that I'm going to have on is a soft jerk bait. For schooling bass, this is dynamite, not only because it's heavy. A salt impregnated soft jerkbait lure is super easy to cast, it has some weight to it, but also because I can cover different parts of the water column. I can skip it along the top, I can swim it real slowly along the top, and of course I can kill it and let it sink, I can twitch it. It's just, the entire playbook is wide open. Might just be the best schooling bass lure out there. Definitely need to have one tied on in the fall anyway on one of your rods, whether you're shore fishing or in the boat. One of them should have one of these tied on all the time, but boy, it is a dynamite lure for schooling bass. Now, another frustrating part of dealing with fish in this situation, besides trying to cast at those huge distances, is when they keep hitting it, swatting at it, but they won't take it. We see this all the time with walking lures. We'll especially see this with smallmouth bass. They like to stun the bait before they'll eat it on the drop. So it's really imperative to have a follow-up lure of some sort. For me, that's going to be a wacky rig, and I'll oftentimes have the bigger 6-inch version on there just because, once again, I can get more distance, but you can still cast a 5-inch wacky rig a long ways. And I'm going to have braid on that spinning reel with probably a fluorocarbon leader because the braid's going to give me a little bit more distance than straight fluorocarbon. But this is a tremendous follow-up lure. And the unique thing with a wacky rig when you're throwing it into schooling bass is if they miss that top water and you've got that follow-up lure and it's just sinking through the water column, most of the time you're just going to see that line run. It's just going to start running off to the side and then go ahead and set the hook. And if you'd like to watch a video that really talks about the key to all bass fishing, whether we're dealing with schooling bass or anything through in the spring and the summer and the winter, go ahead and watch this video right here and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.